Welcome back to Been There, Watch That. Mr. Joe here maintains our website, beentherewatchthat.com. He said just the other day he's got it up to date if you want to go back, see some of our past episodes and the rating that we gave each one. We recently had a highly rated one,
Yeah, I
The
haven't.
Freedom Riders.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're,
that'll be up soon.
like I'll say, you're talking it up, Justin, and I haven't gotten the Freedom Riders up yet.
That's okay. That was one of our.
That was a really good movie.
In mop bucket range for us. That's our highest rating.
And let the record show that that was my pick before Dave
Yeah.
starts breaking his arm, patting himself on the back on that one.
What? No way.
Switching gears a lot with today's pick. This is from the fans list. The 1980 film starring Jack Nicholson, The Shining.
Yeah, that a complete different direction going from Freedom Riders to The Shining.
Yeah, gosh. Stanley Kubrick. Jeez.
Psychological horror, it's called, I guess. Dave
Yeah.
gave us a little bit of a preview as to what it was about. I kind of knew something about a hotel or something, but basically a family that has some issues when they're in a very desolate, isolated old hotel in the wintertime. We'll get into it.
Yeah, I knew that this movie had a lot of pop culture references, like the one Dave sent last night. A little peek behind the curtain. Dave sent Justin and I a text last night. Had a picture of Jack breaking through the door.
Yeah. Somebody put it on their bathroom door on the
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah,
It seemed like an appropriate place. It's
But-
like, yep.
but I did not realize how many pop culture references there are out in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the bicycle and Jack going through the door; those are givens in the
Mhm.
twins.
Yep.
But there's so
Red
many.
rum.
Yeah, like I didn't realize that came from there.
Yep.
Tony's a good character in this one.
Ugh.
Yes.
I bet I'm going to say it right now. I bet there's more of this movie than both of you. I bet there's more of this movie than a lot of people listening to this realize, or both of you realize, or because I didn't realize it either. I'm just saying in general, there's a lot of hidden references.
Yes.
Ooh, scary stuff.
Want to give us the rundown, Joe?
Yeah,
All
give us a
right.
rundown, Joe.
All
Come on,
right.
man. Been there, watch that. Rundown on Shining.
So Jack Torrance becomes winter caretaker at the isolated Overlook Hotel in Colorado, hoping to cure his writer's block. He settles in along with his wife Wendy and his son Danny, who is plagued by psychic premonitions. As Jack's writing goes nowhere and Danny's visions become more disturbing, Jack discovers the hotel's dark secrets and begins to unravel into a homicidal maniac hell-bent on terrorizing his family.
Yep.
So here's the casting call. We have Jack Nicholson playing Jack Torrance. He's known for Chinatown, As Good as It Gets, Batman, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Shelley Duvall plays Wendy Torrance, and she's known for Popeye and Annie Hall. Danny Lloyd plays Danny Torrance, and he's known for Dr. Sleep. Scatman Carruthers plays Dick Halloran. He's known for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Twilight Zone the movie, and The Aristocats.
Now, he looks super familiar. Is he like a comedian or something?
I don't know, because I thought the same thing when I saw him. So I'm going to look him up here. Philip Stone plays Charles Grady, and he's known for A Clockwork Orange and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Flash Gordon. Tony Burton plays Durkin, and he's known for the Rocky movies. Barry Dennen plays Watson. He's known for Jesus Christ Superstar, Fiddler on the Roof, and Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty, the video game. So let me look up.
Looks like he's a musician / actor.
Yeah.
Scatman.
I feel
1930s,
like
he formed a band, spent years in Akron.
He's done Kong Kong Fooey.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't know. He was in Zapped. Okay.
Transformers, back in the 80s, the cartoons.
Sanford and Son,
Born in 1910, so he was 70.
76.
The new
In this
Scooby-Doo
movie.
Mysteries.
Silver Streak.
Taxi. He was in Taxi.
Yep.
Did either of you think it was kind of strange, maybe a little irresponsible for the parents just to be like, oh yeah, go have some ice cream with this.
Yes.
Yes.
With this man
That
we
was
just
so
met
weird.
'Cause
2
he-
seconds ago.
Or just let him wander off. We're going to leave him in the game room.
Yeah.
Well, but think back, guys. This was the 80s. This was back when you
Yeah.
could still let kids just roam around and.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, like if they try to remake this today, just that scene of the boy staying with some guy that you don't even know, yeah, that throws up a whole other level of creeper factors.
Yeah, and it got creepy in a hurry. I mean,
Yes.
he just met him and talked to him about The Shining.
It got creepy before they even got to the hotel because you could tell they were when they're at the house at the beginning. It's like none of them is mentally stable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole. That's where we first meet Tony, right in the very beginning, and it's this kid does a weird little thing with his finger where he's like making a little sock puppet and he's using another voice.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I told Cena, I said like I'm going to open the show next time with doing that to the guys, and I completely forgot that joke. Sorry.
It's so weird. I forgot. There's a lot of little intricacies in this movie. I've seen this movie before.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it when I was a little kid, and just the whole blood rushing out of the elevator scene scared the bejesus out of me.
You know they got that in 3 takes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, there's so much, so many hidden gems, these little Easter eggs in this movie. It's crazy. Stanley Kubrick did a great job.
Apparently, a bit of a nightmare to work with on set for some of the actors.
Yeah, because he was like so particular. Like some stuff he had to do, like there was like 50 takes.
Oh, I'm sure. But I mean, look at the outcome.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The blood scene with the elevators.
Mhm.
The Motion Picture Association of America would not allow blood to be shown on any of the trailers. When the trailers, that's perfect for all ages. Stanley Kubrick persuaded them that the blood was rusty water to get it passed.
Oh, wow.
So basically, lied through his teeth.
Yeah. They probably knew, but they're like, all right, we'll just let him.
I mean, it does rush in there like water, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way there could be that much blood.
Yeah.
So the whole
water.
premise, I mean, can you guys imagine? When I was watching this, I was thinking, who in their right mind wants to spend 5 months snowed in? You know, the guy goes there, well, we get 20 foot of snow, and the road's impassable. I was just like, 5 months with, your spouse and a child. How mentally crazy is that? And nothing that you could have the best spouse and child in the world, but 5 months together in an isolated hotel on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
That's enough to drive anybody crazy.
Yeah. I that was one of the conversations Cena and I had. I told her, I was like, you know what? I think I could try it out for a little bit. Like as long as I had like internet connectivity.
I mean,
I think I'd be good for like at least a month because it's a big enough area. Like everybody could do their own thing and not be on top of each other, driving each other nuts.
Yeah.
And you don't have people bothering you. Basically, a limitless supply of groceries is like I could probably hold up there for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, let's play that game. How long could you make it in that hotel before you think you'd go stir crazy? First of all, let's say, how long could you make it by yourself?
Okay, back in the hotel in the 80s, or like if it was modernized, like if it had internet. Because that's a change. That's
a change.
Yeah.
We gotta give Joe his internet. Let him have his internet. See how long he can.
All right. Let's assume you have an internet connection.
The internet connection.
weeks?
I could probably go a month, probably 2 months, easy.
2 months?
Yeah, I mean, no worries, no stress, no aggravation. You don't have to worry about going after groceries. You don't have to. There's literally, and think about it.
To go outside though, you'd have to be in like deep snow, and so outside would be an issue.
Well,
keep that in mind. So you're restricted to a hotel. Now it's a big hotel, but you're
Right.
restricted to indoors, for the most part.
And there's little twin girls, telling you to come play with them. Sometimes.
well, see now you just guys are throwing wrenches all this, all the snow, and then just the creeper factor. Okay, well, so now that changes everything.
Well,
Knowing that it was on Indian burial grounds.
not actually seeing anything or anything like that, but do you think just being in a big hotel like that would feel kind of creepy all alone?
Oh, I think it would be.
Oh yeah,
Because there'd be noises and creaking and groaning, and
Yeah.
there's got to be animals trying to get in for the winter, and just so massive. You'd have to be like, somebody could stay on the other side of this hotel, and I'd never know it.
yeah, literally a homeless person could go in there and stay in there, and
Did I miss something, or why? What was really the point? Why did they need a caretaker? Because it didn't seem like he really did all that much.
Just to keep
caretaking.
heated so the pipes and stuff don't burst and maintain the general stuff.
To keep an eye out if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like he'd really had any like job duties or anything.
No. Well, she went around with the list and checked the power and and stuff like that.
As well as it wouldn't be a bad gig. Other than what you guys started mentioning, it's haunted and
Other than
the
5
20 feet
months
of snow.
isolated on a mountain with 20
Yeah.
foot of snow, yeah.
But
Not
like,
bad.
How long do you think you can make it, Dave?
Oh, gosh.
You get internet, but that's it.
you get the internet, but all the creepy stuff stays.
By myself, it'd be hard because I would be bored to death.
Right.
So I could do a month,
Yeah.
but after I don't know if I can do more than that.
Right.
All right, Justin, by yourself.
I was thinking the same, a month. I don't think I've got the grit Joe does to go 2.
So, okay, so now let's include
weeks,
family.
maybe.
Now you get some family members, whether it be Joe and I are married, so let's
Mhm.
assume spouses and kids. Justin, let's assume you get to pick a couple family members to go with you.
Okay.
How long could you make it with some family?
I think that would definitely make it easier if you pick the right people.
I don't know because
Might make it worse. 2 weeks.
well here's my thing. Sadie, and I'm thankful every day for this. She's an outside kid,
Yeah.
so being cooped up inside, she would it would drive her nuts, which in turn would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So it's like probably 2. Yeah, jokingly 2 weeks.
It goes down instead of extending
Yeah.
your stay.
Yeah.
I'm tired of everybody. We're leaving.
Yeah, but that's
Get the
that's-
snowcat or whatever that thing was.
yeah. Now that thing was cool. Okay, now if we had 20 foot of snow and the snowcat, that's a game changer.
Could get you somewhere.
Oh yeah. Then I
Joyride.
could have fun.
Yeah.
But that'd be just like taking an ATV out in snow around here. That can make it doable.
You know, and that's true. Why didn't they take the snowcat and drive the 20 miles down the mountain to the town every once in a while?
Right. Just to get out.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I mean, even if it did 10 miles an hour, it'd only be 2 hours to get to somewhere.
Well, and it's one of those, what else do you really have going on that day that you're in such a hurry?
Yeah, I agree. That is weird.
With the timeline, like the screen would go black and it would show like Tuesday or
Yeah.
Thursday or whatever. Like how much time did pass before they started to go a little
It
nutty?
seemed like 1 week.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was less than a
Saturday.
week. The way it talked. the way
Sunday,
it,
Monday, Tuesday.
played
and
out.
then it was on.
Yeah.
Huh.
Jack Nicholson plays it well.
Oh, perfect.
The
Yeah.
unraveling guy.
Yeah, Cena said, like, if they literally could not have found a better actor to play a crazy person.
Yeah.
Him
He looked it.
And
going to the bar and imagining he's with the bartender, chatting him up and laughing and stuff.
But see, if you were bored and you're there by yourself, yeah, that's the conversations you'd have with yourself.
yeah.
I can see that.
So, Dave, I know you're not a fan of it and you haven't seen any of the Batman movies,
Mhm.
but the one with Michael Keaton back in the 80s, Jack Nicholson plays the Joker. And Justin, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are some similarities between Jack in The Shining and his Joker character.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch Batman again, but
Well,
there's
one that
some-
flew over the cuckoo's nest, same.
So he plays the crazy person very well.
Yes, he does. He looks it. His eyebrows are kind of crazy anyway. His hair, yeah, he's kind of got that look. And it kind of, if I was the guy, I mean, I understood they were desperate to get somebody, but I'd been looking at this cat saying, yep, he isn't going to make it.
Yeah, because he just kind of, being the audience, you see their home life, and it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, they're all just like one blunt blow to the head away from going off the deep end anyway. So like,
Yeah.
they're not most mentally stable people to begin with to be put in a situation.
Yeah, and I like he asked him about his family. He's like, yeah, I'm going to write, former teacher, i.e. jobless.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to write through this. What about your wife and son? They're going to love it too, of course. I'm like,
yeah, it's all smiles and handshakes at the
Oh,
beginning.
yeah.
He arrives and basically the main guys that run the hotel are giving him a tour, and it's all, oh wow, this place is really nice. We're gonna love it here, my family and I. Oh, this room's perfect. Nothing could go wrong.
yeah,
But yeah, I think what's going on with his character is, in reality, he's like just getting this, because like he said before, otherwise I'd be shoveling snow or doing whatever, some job he hates. So he's putting on a front and being all, making it appear his life is all together, and he's a stand-up guy to get the job, and then once he gets in, it goes away pretty quick.
Right. So, a little research last night. They said to get Jack Nicholson in the right agitated mood, he was fed only cheese sandwiches for 2 weeks, which he hates.
Yeah, Kubrick apparently was a fan of, you can't just show up on the scene and act. You had to be put through a little bit of stuff in order to bring out the best. I mean, 127 takes on the baseball bat on the stairwell scene.
Yeah, at some point you just you want a baseball you want a picture a scene with this bat here, or just take it right upside his head. There, is that good enough?
Yeah. I'll give you baseball bat shot.
Well, so Stephen King wrote a screenplay for this. You know, it's based off his book, and Kubrick didn't even give it a glance. He said, King's writing is weak. Instead, he just went with Diane Johnson on the screenplay because he was a fan of her book, The Shadow Knows. They spent 11 weeks and wrote the script.
Yeah, Stephen King was actually disappointed with the final film. He said that while Kubrick's visuals were stunning, he said that was surface and no substance. And Stephen King often describes the film as a fancy car without an engine.
Yeah.
And I'm going, ooh.
And Stephen King did not like Kubrick's adaptation of the book.
Yep. King criticized it for deviations from the novel.
Yeah.
Apparently didn't stick to the true
Yeah,
story.
King didn't like Jack Nicholson. He just thought he was all wrong for the part.
Ooh. Is that a segue into Would You Rather?
Because, he talked about because of that manic grin, the audience automatically identified him as loony anyway. But in the book, Jack Torrance's gradual descent into madness is what was the big part.
Yeah, they kind of throw it at you pretty early on with the kid. He starts seeing dead people pretty quickly.
And they filmed where they drove to the place. That's all filmed in the Glacier National Park in Montana.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
Which I've been there, and it is
opening
amazing.
sequence.
Yeah.
Just seeing that kid ride around on his three-wheeler, that kind of brought me back to what I would do the same thing in my house as a kid. But I was just thinking, man, to have a huge hotel like that to ride your three-wheeler around.
That'd be every
day.
kid's dream.
Yeah, there'd be so much stuff. I could have had a lot of fun running around that hotel, I think.
Yeah, because then you just ride up the elevator and just wheel your trike right into the elevator, then go to the next floor and do it all again.
Yeah. Well, they used Oregon's Timberline Lodge for a lot of the exterior shots, and they requested, get this, they make the room 237 because they didn't want people to avoid that room. And ironically, so they really used room 217, but they changed it in the movie to 237 because there isn't a room 237. But ironically, the most requested room is room 217.
Yeah. Yeah, it made me think that this could actually help a hotel out.
Oh, yeah, most
It's
definitely.
not like people are going to be like, oh, that's scary, I don't want to go there. They're like, oh, I want to go there and be a little creeped out.
Yeah, on purpose.
Since I saw,
So
now, I don't. Maybe we shouldn't skip all the way to this, but what the heck did you make of the zoom in on the picture at the very end?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because that confused the crap out of me because I was tickled to death with the ending, but then they brought that stupid picture up and it's like, well, that just killed the ending altogether for me.
He was in it, 1927.
Jack was.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Why?
yeah, exactly.
What did that mean? Yeah.
Thank you, Justin. I'm glad you brought that up because that was. I first thought it was like might have been my short attention span that missed something, but I'm glad that.
Well, it talks about the reincarnation 1921. Jack Kubrick said the ballroom photograph at the very end suggests the reincarnation of Jack, that he's a reincarnation of a guest or someone on the staff at the Overlook in 1921.
Well, that makes absolutely no sense. That's that explanation still makes absolutely no sense. Because I would have been cool with them showing him turn into a popsicle at the end, and that's the end of the movie. But it's to me, it seemed like the picture's like, oh, well, we've got this extra footage that we haven't used anything. I just throw it at the end, nobody will know any different. It's like I just killed the ending for me.
Did it really? I thought it was interesting because it was like, man, it's kind of haunting that he's in a photo. You know, in the middle of the hotel. Because I mean, who really walks around and looks at all those old photos with any detail in a hotel like that? Or, you know, you go into a museum and there's photos of stuff.
Right.
I mean, you know, 50, 60 years ago, do you really look at it and say, wow, that looks like somebody I know? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. To me, I found it kind of satisfyingly warped. You know, here's a photo and he's in it.
Well, to me, it's like, okay, one, did I miss something? And two, if I didn't, then that literally makes no sense on why
it's at one zoom level. I'm like, is that Jack in the front? And then it zooms a little bit more. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is. And then they really zoom in on his face.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, just to drive home any doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this whole thing about people either having the shine or not having the shine, which is basically they can be tuned in with like people's thoughts and hear conversations. Like the kid could hear his parents talking even though he couldn't audibly hear them. He's like hearing them with his mind through the walls and stuff. And then, I mean, by the end of it, didn't the entire family have the shine? You know, the wife was seeing all sorts of stuff at the end. So it's like, if you're under enough stress, you could start seeing stuff. Or
It's almost like the Stranger Things meets The Sixth Sense.
Because it kind of made it seem
Kinda.
like some people had it and some didn't. But
I mean,
she didn't have it the whole movie until the very end.
yeah, and relate it back to when he's sitting in the bar and he talks about, I've always been the caretaker. You know what I mean? So it kind of reinforces that reincarnation deal.
Yeah.
You know, like Jack's soul is part of the hotel.
Yeah.
And I go back to the Indian burial ground thing. You know, it's kind of a sacred site. They build a building on it. It's haunted. You know, and Jack just plays into that role as the next person, you know, that the hotel's going to absorb, so to speak. So that's how I took it.
Because the bartender, I mean, it's like, oh no, he's a regular. He's well established at that hotel.
Yeah.
In his mind, maybe it's the first time he's been to that bar, but oh no.
Yeah.
Money's no good here.
Well, I just wrote that off as like he's losing his mind. So like in his mind, the bartender says your money's no good here, sir.
Yeah. I did too.
Yeah.
For him, it was so vivid. It's like the whole ballroom area was like filled up with people. Like, so I guess it was kind of saying that he'd been there before.
Well, and Charles Grady, who was the former caretaker, killed his family with an axe. And then you got Jack, picks up the axe, gonna redo it again.
Right.
So I kind of saw that, again, I'll go back to that last photo as, you know, the hotel kind of absorbed Jack into it again.
Yeah.
That's how I understood it.
So, would you guys want to play a quick round of Would You Rather?
Sure.
Okay. So, I just have for the character Jack. So, for Jack, would you rather seen Jack Nicholson or Robert De Niro?
Nah, Nicholson's a slam dunk for this role.
Just wait. Justin?
I think De Niro could pull it off, but maybe not as well.
What about Robin Williams?
No. I've seen Robin Williams in like the one about where he's a film guy.
1 Hour Photo?
Yeah, 1 Hour Photo where he is creepy, but nah, Jack Nicholson's manic look.
Yeah, I can't picture Williams taking an axe to a door and knocking it down.
Have you seen 1 Hour Photo?
No.
Okay, because that's what I was basing my argument on. I think Robin Williams could pull it off, and I think because they didn't want to use him because this was right after Mork and Mindy, so they think he's too, too over the top. But I think based off of 1 Hour Photo, if he would have had this would have opened up doors for showed just how wide of a range. I think Robin Williams could have pulled it off. What about Harrison Ford?
No.
Justin?
I've seen him in too many good guy movies.
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to picture him tapping into that descent into madness that Nicholson pulls off.
This next one, I have no idea where they was going with this. Chevy Chase.
No, gosh, no.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Chevy Chase doesn't seem to have a mean bone in his body.
Exactly. Martin Sheen.
That's the dad. Trying to picture what he would look like in 1980.
Maybe, but I
Seems
still.
a little old though, but maybe.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen.
No.
Nah.
And I was thinking, okay, the guy from Airplane, really? You're going to have him in The Shining?
Yeah, I mean, gosh.
Last but certainly not least, Christopher Reeve.
I don't know much about him.
Superman
He was
movies.
Superman, but he was so cookie cutter.
Mhm.
I'd say no.
Okay.
Hmm.
But that when I read that, I was like, that's such a broad spectrum of potential actors to play Jack. Like, there's no theme. It's like literally they just opened up the book and like threw darts at the A list. It's like, okay, well, it landed
Yeah.
on this one. Let's pick him. There's literally no rhyme or reason.
I found if you want to call it music, or I mean, it was music, but it's designed to be like on your edge of your seat, very tense type stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes I found the way that popped into the movie really loudly was a little bit jarring and off-putting, which was supposed to be jarring, but
Right.
I was like, man, this is some over-the-top, edgy music going on, where it's just like high-pitched violins going crazy and whatever else they threw in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those. It was over the top, but I think that was the whole intent. Is like
Yeah.
to keep you on edge and keep you agitated,
Yep.
which it did its job well.
Well, we got to throw in the hedge maze because that's essential.
Oh, that thing
Oh
is
my
crazy.
gosh.
People have seen it before, like these huge hedges, like bushes that are cut out into a maze formation. This one was serious. This was
Yeah.
a big one with all different twists and turns, and they tell them early on, like, plan on at least an hour to get in and out of that thing. And the son and the mother go running around exploring it. The little kid figured it out though. It seemed like
Yeah,
the
he knew
time
right
he
away.
put in to, like, exploring it before helped him in the end when his dad's trying to kill him with an axe.
It's kind of crazy. So get this: Stephen King once visited the Overlook Hotel, but it was called the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, which I've been to. And it made a strong impression on King because it had long, eerily empty corridors because he stayed right before the hotel closed for the winter. And he reports having glimpses of a young boy roaming the halls, even though he and his wife were the only registered guests at the time. That's pretty creepy. I don't know. What year was this?
80.
1980. Man, lot of stuff going on. So there's a lot of.
So you've been to that hotel, but not on purpose, or did you?
No, I just drove by Estes Park. Yeah.
Did you get a creeper factor just by driving by?
Not really, because it was summertime, and we were more looking for moose and elk and stuff like that in the park. This is more outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even remember seeing it. I don't know, a lot of stuff going on in this movie. So, did you guys think at all that there was any sexual abuse to Danny from his dad?
No.
Okay. So, there are a lot of things in this movie that kind of lead to that. One.
Now, I was thinking, obviously there was physical abuse, but I don't know about sexual abuse.
Okay. One, when during his interview while he's waiting in the lobby, he's looking at a Playgirl magazine.
Did not pick
Hard to catch.
Okay.
Hard to catch. You had to, stop the movie and then zoom in. You had to have the ability to do that to catch that.
Okay.
But yeah, he's looking at a Playgirl magazine. Two.
Well, that just adds another creeper factor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, why is that in a hotel lobby?
Yeah.
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 That's what. Yeah.
Two, there's a lot of innuendos about homosexuality or incest. One of the articles in the Playgirl magazine, if you can read the cover when it's zoomed in, says incest in families. And then two, the whole dog/bear scene.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so little sexual act there on a male guest by what I'm presuming is a male in a bear costume with the back undone, and
Yeah.
that whole scene. And then Tony lives in a little boy's mouth, hides in his stomach, and if you go back to the doctor scene in the very beginning of the movie, Danny's laying, and he has a bear stuffed animal that he's laying on. And he doesn't have any pants on.
Who doesn't have pants on?
Danny, when the doctor's talking to him, the female doctor's talking to him. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I noticed that, but I didn't really put it together. And then I went and read some fun facts here on the movie, did a little research. I was like, what the heck?
Okay.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah, so that just changes everything because...
Yeah. And then if you look at the elevator, it has like two eyes above it. Pull up a picture of the elevator real quick. It has two eyes that are very similar to the bear stuffed animal above the elevators. If you look at that.
It does.
Yeah, so there's a lot of references back to that bear. And then the bear scene that the mom looks at the very end when she's walking around with the knife. With the what we're presuming is a sexual act on a male guest. Kind of.
Holy Toledo Batman.
Yeah, puts a whole new spin on it. So then when she asks him who strangled the boy, Danny, and then he has that whole scene, right before that where he says, Danny, come over here and sit on my lap, and, and he doesn't really want to. The boy doesn't want to.
Okay, so where did the marks on Danny's neck come from, or did we not know?
They don't say.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure I didn't miss something.
But Danny's obviously not comfortable with his dad. And
I just took that as like...
some supernatural...
Well, none of them's mentally stable.
Yeah.
And
well,
I just wrote it off as that.
Before that, though, remember he went to get his fire truck.
Yeah.
And he went into the apartment where his dad was awake.
Right.
He tells him to come sit on his lap. So it doesn't really say anything happened. But then in the next scene, he's got marks on his neck. And the dad's sitting there screaming from a nightmare where he says he killed them all.
The kid claims that the lady in the bathtub in room 237 tried to strangle him.
Okay, so let's go back to the bathtub scene.
Oh, that was creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, a young lady gets up out of the bathtub and she is pristine and beautiful. And then, when he kisses her and hugs her, it's an ugly old hag. So there's a metaphor there, according to the fun facts, that, that's, the main character that Jack Nicholson plays, that's him realizing that he is not interested in women. And that he's... Because, and then you look, he doesn't wear a wedding ring. Although his wife does. He doesn't have a good relationship with his wife. Any relationship. He sleeps the opposite that she does.
He talks kind of bad about her.
Yeah, he doesn't like her, and he tells her to stay away from him, and, he's working, and so they don't have any relationship in the movie.
Well, see, this just changes my outlook on everything, because I just assumed, like, none of them was mentally stable to begin with.
Yeah.
And just kind of pushed them over the edge. And the whole doctor thing...
Uh-huh.
I just kind of wrote, I never even gave that a glimpse or a thought, because I just assumed, like, okay, the doctor's there for an examination, and just wrote it off as that.
Yep.
Not thinking, like, okay, she wasn't there for physical and mental, she was just there for a mental evaluation, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I just assumed she was a general practitioner doctor, like she did the whole head-to-toe examination, and that was just normal. That puts a completely different perspective on it.
Yeah, kind of warped, and there's all those little hints, and then the dad goes to kill Danny, and he has to trick him.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, I think.
And the mom kind of refuses to see any of the stuff. In the movie they were watching when he went to get his fire truck, that movie was about a young man that has an affair with an older person, kind of like The Graduate.
Yeah, it seemed a little age inappropriate. The kid was watching. I'm like, what are they watching here?
Oh yeah, and then there aren't any like cables running to the TV.
I bet there's just tons of stuff. It seemed like that's part of Kubrick's thing, is loading up with some subtle things here and there in the imagery and stuff.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff loaded in there.
That's kind of cool to not totally hit people over the head with it, just hide it in there for people to discover.
Well, and so that's the whole, so many turns to this movie. That's another layer. And you start thinking about, all right, so now it's about overwintering in a hotel that is haunted, on burial grounds, Indian burial grounds, which is bad mojo all across the board. And then you have, of course, the isolation and going crazy. And then You throw that in there, sexual abuse, and the little boy that has the shining powers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Whew. Whole lot of stuff going on.
Playgirl. Yep, I see it now. He's reading Playgirl.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So we touched on this, but we didn't discuss very deep the door bashing scene with the axe.
Mm-hmm.
For that scene, the props department built a door that could be easily broken. However, Jack Nicholson had worked as a volunteer fire marshal and broke it too easily, so the props department had to go back and reinforce and build a stronger door for him to hack through. So he had experience as a fire marshal to break those doors easily. Made the props department redo their work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson actually wrote a little bit of the scene where his wife comes in and interrupts him while he's writing, and he goes off on her.
Yep.
And he said he had that kind of happen when he was under the pressure of being a family man with a daughter, and he accepted a job to act in a movie, and he's writing a movie at night, and his beloved wife Sandra walked in on him, and he had that manic episode, so he put it right into the movie.
Yeah, things go. Your image of him changes pretty quick, where he was all smiles and hunky dory to that scene where he totally goes off on her and tells her to get the heck out of here, not bothering while he's trying to write. You can just see how frustrated he is as a writer, because he's mad that he's not able to write what he wants to write, and he kind of takes it out on her when she comes in and
Yeah.
interrupts him.
Well, and then you see the scene where, you know, the typewriter has the same lines over and over and over.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah,
Now, towards the end of the shooting, they had a fire that broke out and destroyed a lot of the sets.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They never really discovered what caused the fire, and it burned down 2 sound stages and at Elstree Studios. It was huge. Do we know money-wise? Will anybody get numbers on that?
Let me see.
For the final scene, they took 900 tons of salt and created an elaborate wintry maze to make it look like that. That and crushed styrofoam.
Wow.
Took 5 years to make.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're taking 50 takes on everything, I can see why.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't 100% buy the kid retracing his steps and then like getting down in the snow and like
Covering
using
his
his
tracks.
hands to cover his tracks. Yeah, that seems like that'd be pretty easy to notice.
So the budget was an estimated $19 million. Opening weekend brought in $622,000, but gross U.S. sales U.S. and Canada was a little over $45.5 million. Worldwide, a little over $47 million.
Yeah,
Like I said, cult classic.
yeah, I'm glad I got to watch, possibly rewatch, because there's little things here and there I kind of remember seeing when I was younger, but I mean, like him riding around on his little 3-wheeler and seeing the twins. I feel like I saw that before, but
Yeah.
so much pop culture reverberations too. That could be something else. Could have been on Family Guy or something. I saw the same.
Yeah, Family Guy's made a few references to it.
Yeah.
What'd Cena think?
She fell asleep.
Oh gosh, how can you do that?
But what she did watch, like, she said that Jack Nicholson nailed the psychotic. She's like, he
Yeah.
had that look. She said there's no
Yeah.
possible way you could have gotten anybody else.
I agree, especially when he sticks his face through the door and here's Johnny.
Yeah.
He just looks crazy. I'm still, the whole bear with the guest scene blows my mind.
Yes.
Just like, who thought of that?
Yeah,
What
what
a time to have it.
Well, like, what kind of sick and twisted, morbid person, like, hey, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Then
She's
again,
running through the hallway, and here's what she sees.
yeah, and then somebody goes, bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
Now the scene where he's turned into a popsicle at the end,
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, the look on his face is kind of crazy. And the naked lady coming out of the bathtub scene, did not expect it. I mean, I've seen the movie before.
Right.
It's been a long time. But I forgot about that scene. I was kind of like, oh, this is just crazy. You know, you're in a hotel by yourself. You come in, you have this vision. What in the heck's going through your head?
Yes.
And you know, just like, okay, run. And he's like, nope. Freaky stuff.
Well, see, like the girls at the end of the hall, I knew that they was part of the movie, but I didn't realize, like, I've only seen them at the end of the hall. I didn't know, like, there was 2 or 3 other scenes with them in it where they're just basically roaming the place. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, what the heck?
Very interesting flick, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why it has stood up as long as it has.
Did you guys consider this to be a horror film? Like, would you consider it to be a horror film? Where's it fall?
More on the psychological end, I would say.
Yeah, like a psychological horror. Because there's not a lot of murder and hacking and all that. It's like more of just a mental. You can literally see a slowly mental demise.
Yeah, once you start throwing in kind of the spirits from the past, that does get kind of into the horror realm.
Yeah. It says that Stanley Kubrick was concerned that the hedge maze was too easy to solve, and he tried to solve it and got lost.
Do you know if that hedge maze is at the same hotel in Colorado, or is that in a
I
totally
can't
different
see it because it's in the mountains, and that
location?
would take a lot of space.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I was
maybe.
thinking maybe, yeah, they took some liberties. And
Now it says the scene where he chases his son through the maze took about a month to shoot, and most of that was because the crew kept getting lost and had to use walkie-talkies to try to help themselves out.
yeah, I was thinking when you're trying to film it, obviously the crew is like leaving foot impressions in the salt, snow, or whatever, and if the camera flips around, you can't have those, like, you'd have to reset it, it seems like, every time, and make it fresh again, and so your footprints would show up again.
Okay, so the maze was filmed on the back lot of MGM Bromewood Studios in England. The overhead shot of the maze was filmed in the back parking lot of the Canterbury building in Bournemouth, England, with a matte painting background. The maze at night was filmed on stage 1 at Elstree Studios.
Huh.
But I did see here, according to the shining.fandom.com, that the oh no, that's the wrong website. Never mind. According to another website, after international search for the best design, Colorado's Stanley Hotel is building the real-life version of the hedge maze from The Shining. So this was back in 2015 that there's a Colorado Stanley Hotel is actually trying to
Rebuild it?
Yeah.
So, you know the scene where Shelley Duvall's character finds pages of, you know, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy?
Yes.
Apparently Kubrick's secretary spent months typing all that up. She had to do over 500 pages, and then she recreated them in 5 other languages for international releases.
Why 500 pages? Why? I mean, you could put a stack of empty blank pages underneath and like the
And make
top
a
5 or
copy,
10.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
The top 5 or 10.
I agree. Shelley Duvall said this had such a mental and physical stress on her because Kubrick was extremely hard on her that it impacted her health, and that she was in and out of ill health because of the stress, and she lost some of her hair and just, you know, really
said
difficult.
her hair was falling out on set.
Took a year to film the elevator scene. They got it in 3 shots. Took 9 days to clean up the hallway and fill the elevator with blood again.
Unbelievable.
Took 60 doors.
Yep.
And he did the "Here's Johnny" from Johnny Carson show. That's where he got
I
it from.
thought that might have been where.
Yeah, he ad-libbed it.
What a thing to ad lib and to just hit the nail, knock it out of the park.
I thought the tension they created by him coming through with the axe and trying to track down his family, like, you know, sometimes they try to build tension and it's kind of unrealistic because it's taking like way too long. I felt like they paced it realistically enough to where he doesn't just bust the door down with one hit, but it's not also where it takes him like 100 hits, and it's kind of realistic. He gets a little bit
a little at a
more
time
through each time.
Yeah, the believability on that was spot on.
Yeah. Well, apparently Jack Nicholson was a volunteer fireman at some point. They had to.
Right.
The door was so flimsy door, and then they had to make it stronger because he knew how to use an axe. Kind of crazy.
What do you think about the overall running time and the pace of it, Joe?
The runtime was a little long for me. I think there may have been a few things that they could have cut out.
I guess there were like 3 different theatrical releases where they cut more and more out each time. So there's like, I think what we're seeing now is 30 minutes
Longer.
shorter than what it originally was. Maybe it's originally a close to 3-hour movie.
Wow. Well, if it was closer to a 3-hour movie, I don't think I could have sat through that.
Yeah.
I think there could have been a couple of things that they could have tightened up on, but I mean, overall it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
What do you think of the sound his little 3-wheeler bike thing made as he went through the hallway?
Or it would like go onto the carpet for a second, and then drop down onto the floor again.
That's just to add that extra little creeper factor.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't want to be critical of movies like this because obviously they're trying to like slowly build the tension, but it did feel a little bit of took a minute to get going at the beginning, I thought.
Yeah, but not bad.
Yeah, not bad. But
I've seen movies take a lot longer to get you started.
5 minutes maybe could have been 5 or 10 could have been trimmed maybe.
Yeah. But overall, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Until the end.
Till that weird picture thing.
Yeah, that killed it for me. I don't understand it.
I liked it.
Rotten Tomatoes, 85% critic, 93 audience. Very high reviews. IMDb 8.4 out of 10. I think we'll be in similar range here. Overflowing medium to large. Maybe somebody will throw a mop bucket out.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's mop bucket.
Yeah, I can't quite throw a mop bucket at it.
No. So we ready to rate it up?
But a regular old medium seems a little low too. I don't think I can go that low.
Yeah, there's too much in it. Did you guys see the red rum thing coming when Danny was chanting it? Red rum.
No.
Red rum.
No.
What do you think when you did see it?
That mind blowing. It's like, oh, that just further proved my case that they're all nuts.
Did you recognize that it was murder backwards?
No.
Until the mirror, and she sees it in the mirror?
Yeah, not until the mirror scene. Did you?
Yeah, I think I knew that already somehow or something, but I knew what the red drum meant.
Red rum.
I just thought, okay.
Red
They've all just completely lost it. And then there's no two ways about it. And then when we find out red rum's actually murder, well, that's...
Let's just fast forward a little bit once her and her son get off the mountain, because they escape at the end. Spoiler, sorry. Is that kid just going to be totally nuts?
Well, Stephen King wrote another book And let me see what it is here. I just saw it. Blah, blah, blah. And it is Doctor Sleep. After many years after writing the Shining book, he wrote a sequel, and in 2013 he released Doctor Sleep, which focuses on a grown-up Danny Torrance. And it's been adapted into a movie as well. Did not know this.
Yeah, he's Danny's actually involved in it as well.
Now, given the fact Kubrick is, of course, passed away, and Stephen King did not like the movie version of The Shining, it remains to be seen if Doctor Sleep will have anything to do with its cinematic predecessor. Said he's making... However, director Mike Flanagan explicitly said he was making a sequel to the Shining film and that the movie came out in October 2019. Doctor Sleep, let me look at it.
Yeah, Danny's involved with it. The actor Danny, and the movie poster has a picture of him on a it's the iconic tricycle picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Red rum at the top. Okay. Wow, budget of $55 million. Says Danny, who's struggling with alcoholism, remains traumatized by the sinister events that occurred at the Overlook Hotel. Becomes shattered when he meets Abra, a teen who shares his extraordinary gift of the shine. Together they form an unlikely alliance to battle the True Knot, a cult whose members try to feed off the shine of innocence to become immortal. Has Ewan McGregor in it. Okay.
I'd almost be interested in watching that
Yeah, maybe.
at some point.
Doctor Sleep, okay.
Fun fact, Shining was among the first few films in the 70s to 80s to use the Steadicam, which now is just used all over the place, but I guess
I don't know what that is.
mounting
okay.
it to the camera operator's body
Ah, so they can walk around.
and following around smoothly, able to like walk with the cam and use it for like, I assume when they're following him on his little tricycle and in the maze, there's probably just a guy walking behind him. But I
Yeah.
guess before the Steadicam, yeah, they'd be jumping all over the place. It wouldn't be usable.
Interesting. So, if you're going to recommend this to someone, A, would you recommend it to him? And B, what scene would you use to recommend it to him? You got to watch this movie because of...
The toss up between the tricycle with the twins and here's Johnny. I mean, those are the two
Yeah.
iconic scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
I like him at the bar too, with just Jack Nicholson's acting with
The bartender.
yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. I think I would have to go with the initial interview where like, hey, listen, you wouldn't believe this movie. A guy takes on a job with his family to stay 5 months in a hotel stranded at the top of a mountain with 20 foot of snow. How could that possibly go good?
Yeah.
And it's on Indian burial grounds.
Yeah.
Woo!
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. All right, well, let's rate this baby up.
All right.
What are you guys thinking?
Who wants to go first?
I'm going to say 4. Hold on, 4. 4 stars, which would be a large bucket.
You're going large?
I'm going large, just because there's so many twists and turns, and I like that kind of stuff. Now, it is older, and some of it's a little freaky and not necessarily plausible, but, you know, like you said, the Danny backing his way out of the maze and, you know, having as a 5-year-old, having the ability to know to do that is kind of mind-boggling.
Right.
But, you know, there's so many other good parts to this, you know, and Halloran coming back, that's just, you know, yeah. If he could come back, then they would have sent somebody to check on him every once in a while.
Right.
So that kind of was like implausible to me. But the rest of it, all the innuendos and the metaphors and just the freakiness of it. Oh, I liked it. Freaky.
I think it definitely succeeds in what it's trying to do, which is give you a little bit of that feeling of that you might be feeling in a hotel like that with all this crazy stuff going on. It does a good job of ratcheting up the tension, but not necessarily the type of movie I would go out looking for. But I think clearly this one is pretty well done and
Yeah.
some pretty cool visuals and stuff for its time. I mean, it looks good still. I think visually it holds up in 2022.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Looks good, and Nicholson does a good job.
Well, I mean, yeah. I want to add this in here. Nicholson does a good job. He plays the role that he's kind of destined to play. But I gotta say, Shelley Duvall, wow, she carried the torch as well. I mean, she was really the deer in headlights. What is going on? I don't know what to think of this. And
she may have had a harder job than he did.
Yeah, I think so.
He was able to just be his little bit of throw that creep factor on, but she had to totally sell the distraught.
Yeah.
Totally.
The mom trying to figure out what's
down.
Really going on here, and kind of a knucklehead. You know, and even in the beginning, she kind of said, "Well, this is a neat hotel, huh? So this is the kitchen, huh?" And I was like, "Oh boy." You know, chain smoking mom that's trying to raise her son and just goes along with whatever her husband says.
Yep.
I don't know. 1980, it's not that strange, but now I was like, man.
Yeah, really.
She pulled it off.
Doing the whole, I'll make you a sandwich and come back. He's like, no, stay the heck out of here. I'm trying to write.
So, Justin, what did you say you rated this?
Large.
A large?
Yeah.
Joseph, what are you thinking?
I was excited going to this because I know this is a cult classic that I had never seen, so I had high hopes for it. And I was along for the ride until that stupid picture at the end. So for that, I'm giving it an overflowing medium.
Oh, the picture at the end got you.
Yes.
Overflowing medium.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that picture, if we'd ended it with Jack turned into a popsicle, it would have been a solid large. But that picture at the end, just nope. Which is crazy to think that you've got the scene with the bear and the guy. And what I'm having issues with is the stupid picture.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, Joe. What the heck?
Yeah. I tell you just how warped this movie is that it makes you think. It's like I'm having more issue with a picture hanging on the wall than a bear with a guy.
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
Furry. It's a furry, I think.
Yeah, that might have been where it all started from.
Yep.
Don't let the blood rushing out of the elevator bother you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, so 2 large buckets and 1 overflowing medium because Joe can't get past the pitcher.
Yep.
All right, that's where we're at. All right, Justin, you got your pick for next week?
Well, I've got a list.
Ooh.
List.
I don't know.
What would be on your list, kind sir?
Let's Google some of these, see
what's available.
What's out there. Miller's Crossing.
Miller's Crossing. That seems familiar.
Doesn't look like it's for free anywhere.
I'm looking here. Hold on, Justin.
Yeah.
Don't give up hope yet. Let me log in here.
What's the backup plan? What's plan B?
Refer back to plan A.
Got Barton Fink.
What? I've never even heard of that either. Barton Fink.
Oh, okay. Well, don't. It teased me like, here it is.
Oh, this has John Turturro in it and John Goodman.
What's it called?
Barton Fink.
Yeah, looks like another have to rent it type deal on that one. Kramer versus Kramer. Did I throw that one out?
That's a good one.
I don't know where this list came from, but
yeah, about lawyers in the 80s.
Okay.
1979, actually.
I'm not seeing anything for Kramer versus Kramer.
Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep.
All right, looks like you got to buy it.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
what else you got, sir?
Well, I mean, been kicking around The Godfather for a while.
Yeah. We missed the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, it's almost 3 hours too. I don't think I want to do that.
It's summertime. We can't devote that much time to staying indoors watching movies.
Well, here's one that's one of my all-time favorites.
Uh-oh.
Grizzly Man.
What?
Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man?
Documentary.
Justin, I thought of you the other day.
Yep.
I think I was working on one of the show notes or something, and they are. What was that movie? The name's escaping me about they had little people in it. That they was,
Willow, yeah.
yeah, Willow. They're doing a series on Willow.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep, on Disney Plus.
I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grizzly Man. 2005.
Yep, that's it.
Looks like Rent.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Depends if you guys are in the mood for a documentary or not.
Okay, it's on Pluto, Redbox, Tubi.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Free on everything except on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Okay. Grizzly Man's available. You want to go with that?
It's a good talk piece, I think.
Okay.
And
Joseph?
what's the run time on it? Make sure I know.
I'm pulling it up here. 2 hours, 1 hour 58 minutes.
That's not bad. I like a little documentary.
All right, there it is.
Oh no, okay. According to
Hour
here,
and 43 is what
yeah,
I'm
hour
saying.
43. Yeah. Well, I think on Pluto is that 2 hours is with commercials.
Grizzly Man. Yep, 2005.
Okay.
Yeah, this one was a mind blower for me back in the day.
Nice. All right. Justin's pick, The Grizzly Man, a documentary.
I have to ask: are there any explosions?
No, sorry.
Well, then don't be excited. Don't be surprised with a low rating.
Yeah, there you go. That's your disclaimer from Joe. Okay. All right. Take us out of here.
All right. For all of our show notes and more reviews, check out our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, at BTWT Pod. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Been There, Watch That. Leave us 5-star review. And all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm.
Anchor.fm.
Yeah, comment with your shining hidden gems or conspiracies.
Yeah,
or
gosh.
what it's all about.
I only listed
Fill us in a
some.
little bit.
Got a lot to go there.
Yep.
All right, outstanding pick. Make sure if you're a fan, you've watched this show or listened to this podcast, submit your movies to us. We love them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fan pick, always a highlight. All right, next week, The Grizzly Man, 2005 documentary, Justin's pick. And then it's back to me, the star rating pick where we get all mop buckets.
Yep.
But,
Ooh, can I call blank? According to the fact checkers I've seen.
yeah, that's self-proclaimed fabrication. Anyway, all right. So we have
Been there?
Watch that.
All right, we'll be back next week, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week, and we'll be back with The Grizzly Man.